everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Matzobane Mogolo. If you are new here, please do remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell before you leave. And for all the returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back to this channel and tuning in on to this video. Today we're going to be talking about how to do your PER so that you don't have to submit your PER and it keeps coming back and you don't know what's wrong. You keep on returning it and it comes back. I, for one, was fortunate enough to work with amazing people who have went through this process before. So I basically just submitted my PER once and it never came back. Actually, next time I heard from CIMA people was when they were sending me an email acknowledging that my PER process went well and they were welcoming me to the CIMA family as a CIMA associate. So without wasting any more of your time, so you have completed, you have your 3 years of experience, you are confident that you have all your competencies. Now you have to complete your PER. I've heard that there's a new process now, but when I completed my PER, it was a different thing. We basically used the method where you put your things on the system, and it would also ask you if whatever competencies you were putting onto the system was at an advanced or what an expert or intermediate level. And after that, you put the email address of your supervisors to confirm your your experiences, and they will get an email and they will just click onto that and then they'll go under oath and confirm all those things. But I heard that now the process is different. I feel like you have to do it like the way it was done before, in terms of like filling a certain document manually and having people sign off, all those kind of things. So let's get into today's video. So basically, how you have to present your PER, you have to use a star template. So basically, each and every letter there has a meaning. So let's just start with S, which means you have to describe the situation. S stands for the situation, what was happening. Basically, you describe what was happening and the task, what were your responsibilities within the situation that was happening, followed by an A, which is the action. The action, what did you do to resolve the situation that was happening, basically. And then the results, what were the outcome and how did the outcome benefit or affect the business or the organization, and the benefits as well. So basically, that is how you have to structure your competencies, each competency in a way, from your technical, your business, which were described in the previous videos, to your leadership skills, to your people skills, and your digital skills. Okay, I actually said the digital better. Let me stop saying it before I start having problems saying it again. So I'm just going to give an example of how you can structure your competencies or your role to see how many competencies you have. So I'm just going to start with, I'm going to give 3 examples. So I believe you guys can take it from there. And if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section. Also, I'm thinking maybe when we get to 500 subscribers, I can maybe choose 2 people who needs help with their PER and help them. And if you're still a student, depending on which level you are in, I can, if the person who won is still a student, or maybe if they need textbooks, I also do have my practice kits. I think I could like give them away or something if the person who won needs them. But also it will depend on where in the CIMA journey is the person in. And also, guys, don't be coming in my DMs on Instagram or LinkedIn asking me for the books, because I'm saying that I do have the books. I do have the practice kits that I haven't used though. So I think I'll also do a giveaway at some point along this journey. So let's just start with a simple one of the responsibilities that someone could have let's start with someone who have to file monthly VAT filings and submit them to SARS on a monthly basis. So what is the situation there? The situation is that you have to submit the monthly files towards SARS to avoid penalties. If you don't file, you know what happens, you know what SARS does. So that's how you describe the situation. So, and then second step would be you describing your task. So what is your responsibilities there? Your responsibilities is to get all the transactions in the AP and the AR on a monthly basis, calculate your input and your output VAT, and see where you are. Are you in a liability or an asset position? If you are in a liability position, you know you have to pay a certain amount over to SARS, and if you're in asset position, SARS will refund you. If you're in a refund, which is like the asset position I'm talking about, SARS will have to refund you. So that is your responsibilities. And then we'll go to an A, which is an action. What have you done? You have managed to compile the monthly VAT files to SARS on a monthly basis and submitted them to SARS on time. And then we'll go to the R, which is the results. What were the results? So you submitting your monthly files to SARS on time and paying SARS over the money that you need to pay if you are in a liability position, or if you are in a refund position, then you'll have to follow up with SARS so that you get your refund back from SARS. So that is what you have done. And what are the results? How is this action that you have done affecting the company? So what you have done is you have, I don't want to say helped, but what you have achieved is that the company is compliant. The company is compliant with SARS. There are no penalties. That is your result. So if you look at what I've just described so far, there is your competency of your compliance competency and your tax competency. I think I'll also just I'll see if it's possible for me to attach the competency framework in the comment section for you guys to see all those competencies that I described in the previous video. So you already have 2 competencies there, and technical wise as well, there's another competency as well. So you can repeat the step number 1 and number 2 of the STAR, number 1 and number 2 and number 3 of the STAR complex, of the STAR template, and at the end the results would be you have complied with the legislation as well. You know your standards. So there is a technical competency there, there's a compliance competence and the tax competency. So that one responsibility has resulted in 3 competency, which is your compliance competency, your tax competency, and your technical competency of knowing your taxes, or of knowing your legislation, of making sure that you claim VAT where you're supposed to. You don't claim VAT on zero rated items or exempt items. That is your technical side of this specific responsibility. So this one responsibility, you'll have to have like 3 different competencies under it, that you'll have to have 3 competencies, basically repeating the responsibility, the situation, and what you have done, but your results being different. Like the first one could be, on your results could be that the company was compliant. The second one could be that you compliant with your IFRS in your books, where you have claimed VAT, where VAT was supposed to be claimed. You made sure that if maybe, for example, if it was an asset that was purchased, when it was capitalized, VAT was not included in the amount that was capitalized in the books. So that is where IFRS comes in there. So, and compliance as well. So it's one responsibility and 3 different competencies. So let's just move to another example of what someone in the finance function could be doing. Let's say someone in the accounts receivables. Oh, before we move to someone in the accounts receivable, just remember one more competency that you have achieved in that previous example that I just gave of you doing the monthly VAT filings. Another competency could be that it's a risk management competency. You have managed a risk that when the auditors come and audit, they don't find that, oh, there was a month where you claimed VAT when you're not supposed to, or you paid over the amount, more money that you're supposed to pay to SARS. And also you have also managed the risk in case that SARS decide to audit the company that you work for. They're not going to find, there are not going to be any findings to say, okay, this company is claiming some months it has claimed VAT when it was not supposed to, or this company is not doing their taxes properly. So there's another risk that you have a risk that you have eliminated. So you have managed a risk. So there's basically on that responsibility, there's like 4 competencies you could have gotten. And if in that role you are basically you are doing the work, and there's like maybe one reviewer, because obviously someone has to look at your work, but you're doing that work without like any intervention. You're doing that at like an advanced level. So there's because with every competencies you have to say at what level are you doing that. So you are basically doing that competency at an advanced proficiency level, because you also have to mention your proficiency of each and every competency that you do. So let's move to the next responsibility. So let's say you are in accounts receivables. What are you doing? What's the situation there? On a daily basis, you're making sure that an invoice is issued when it's supposed to be issued. There is it's IFRS 15 coming in. There is your technical competency. And what are your responsibilities there? You state your responsibilities. What have you achieved? You have made sure that when there's audit, there's a risk that you have. There's a technical competence already. There's a risk there that you the audit risk there that you have also kind of managed in you making sure that you invoices are issued when they're supposed to be issued. And also the working capital cycle as well. You are ensuring that the company collects money when it's supposed to. And in you doing that is working capital management. You are also managing another risk there, which is the risk of making sure that the company is a going concern. Because if, let's say, a company has a high accounts receivables, now they can't pay their suppliers, they can't pay employees, there's like a question of that company being a going concern at that stage. So you're managing the cash flow risk there, you're a working capital risk. You're making sure that the employees remain within the company, because we all want to get paid on time. You're also making sure that the relationship with suppliers, they run smoothly, because the reputation of the company as well, because who wants to do business with a company that they know that it barely pays them on time? So there is the risk that you are managing. And you're also the IFRS wise, you're making sure that IFRS 15, the invoices are issued on time. So you have to like state all those things that you are doing in different competencies and the results, and how has the company benefited from that. The company, for example, one of the results could be that the company has managed to have like working capital because you are collecting money from the customers on time. The company is able to pay its suppliers on time. The company is able to pay, if it's for example, if it's a rented building, the company is able to pay the renters on time. And if maybe it's a leased building, you are making sure that the company does not breach their contract with the person who owns that building. So in you doing that, you're making sure that there are no penalties imposed by the person who owns the building. You are not the company is not kicked out from that building. You see all those risks that you're busy solving, the risk that you're busy what's the word? The risk that you are managing, they're already in that responsibility. You're managing a risk. You're making sure that, you're making sure that only VAT, here's another competency, the tax, that tax and compliance competency. You are making sure that only transactions that attract VAT is treated, you're making sure that VAT is treated accordingly on those transactions, so that the correct amount of VAT can be paid over to SARS whenever, because companies have different categories of like being a VAT vendor. So you're making sure that the company pays over the correct amount to SARS when they're supposed to, by making sure that VAT is issued properly in the AR department. So there's already a compliance and tax competency there. There's IFRS 15 there, that you're making sure that the standard is being applied accordingly, and you're also managing a cash flow risk. Same, let's go to the other responsibility. Let's say you're in accounts payables as well. You are making sure that you don't pay over just any invoice that comes over. You are making sure that there's proper processes that were followed, like authorization, internal control. You're making sure that proper procedures were followed in buying certain goods. For example, if there's a situation where you had to stop certain invoices from being paid because there were no POs, for example, you're already managing an internal control risk there. You're already managing the cash flow risk. You're making sure that we don't pay for the goods that we possibly did not receive or that were not authorized because there's no PO. You're already managing, also in terms of like VAT wise, those transactions, for the transactions that you can claim VAT for, you're making sure that you can claim VAT. For the transactions that you are not entitled to claim VAT, for example, if maybe there's an asset that was purchased but it's not it's used for entertainment purpose, you know that VAT will not be claimed on that. You are making sure that VAT is not being claimed on that transaction. So there's a tax competency there. There's an IFRS competency there. There's a cash flow management competency there, making sure that we don't just pay over. We pay suppliers when invoices are actually due or when they're about to be due, let me just say within the payment terms. And you're also making sure that we don't pay goods that we possibly did not receive because there's no PO or a PO was not receipted. You're managing a risk there. So that is how you're supposed to look at your role. For example, if you were, let's say, a management accountant, you prepare management packs on a monthly basis. You are making sure that costs are allocated in the correct accounts so that different business partners can be able to see an accurate financial position or profit and loss of whatever unit that they are in. So in you doing that, you may be picking up that, okay, this asset was not supposed to depreciate in this unit, supposed to depreciate in another unit. So that is you knowing your standards and you making sure that costs are allocated properly. And what are you achieving at the end of the day? You're making sure that sound business decisions can be made by the business partner. Someone would not think that their product line or business unit is making losses while someone is thinking that they're making profit when they're actually not. So for you to be a management accountant, obviously you have to know all those things. You have to know the financial accounting for you to be able to know that, okay, all these costs are in the correct accounts. So that there is the different kinds of competencies in terms of IFRS, which is the technical competencies. And when you actually tell people in the financial accounting department to move those costs appropriately, that is a business skill right there. So you're basically solving something, and at the end of the day, there is the result. Business partners are able to see the accurate pictures in their different business units. So don't just look at your role as, okay, I'm presenting financial I'm presenting financial reports. There's just one competency there, because obviously you'll also be making sure that, okay, these taxes are accounted properly, different costs are in different accounts. And how are you gonna know that if you don't know your financial accounting? How are you gonna know that if you don't know your things like auditing? So basically, a role is just not like a role where you have like one competency. One role can have like 3, 4, 5 competencies. And also depending on whether you are at a state where you are reviewing other people's work, and obviously, let's say you're a management accountant, at that level where you're able to pick up different mistakes from different departments, you're obviously doing your job at an expert level. And at the end of the day, you're going to need someone to say, okay, this is what you've been doing, and this is what you've picked up, this is how you've managed the risk. If it's risk, this is the results. And with those results, you actually did the company did manage to get what you are saying, that they actually did manage to benefit from what you are doing. And in you doing that, then that person will be comfortable enough to go under oath and say that, okay, this person has indeed did this and this and this. The things that they said that they have achieved, they've managed the company. The company managed to like have improved processes or this and that. They'll be comfortable to go under oath and basically agree with what you're saying, and your PER will be approved. So with those examples, I hope that you guys will be able to benefit a lot from this video. Please do ask your questions in the comment sections if you have anything that you need clarity on. And I don't really have capacity to help people with the PER, like I said, but I think that I'll run some sort of a competition, and where the person, if the people who won, maybe they need maybe I'll have like different kind of competitions, like maybe competition where it's only for people who need to do their PER, and maybe I'll take 2 and help them with their PR. Also, maybe depending on where they are, we might actually be able to meet in person. If you're far, maybe we'll have like a Teams meeting and go over all your experience and your competencies, and put together your experience and your skills and basically your PR, and then you'll just take that to the relevant people who needs to basically approve and sign off on your competencies for you to submit it over to CIMA. So thank you so much, guys. I hope that you found this video to be very informative, and please do like, comment and subscribe. Let's grow this channel together and continue helping each other going forward. Thank you so much. Bye.